Gentlemen and ladies, my name is Has, and welcome to the What If Deku Was Born as a Nomu. And I know that this says the What If Deku becomes a Nomu, but this is just one of my old files that I used to do. So in this What If that I'm making is that Zuko was born as a Nomu. Basically, he has powers, or no, not like those, but his entire existence, like his entire body, was made out of quirks. Not corpse, quirks, like in the powers. So, and don't worry, there was one guy says, or there's a guy in my comments in the last video that I did, the one that was before my custom cards of today, was that they said, oh, what if Deku was reborn in Marvels? Yeah, I'm still working on that one. So, get prepared for probably tomorrow. Hey? And, yeah. And no, in this video, I am not gonna turn Zuko into Green Goblin version. So, yeah. So, basically, now let's begin. So, Zuko and Zumi were born. I forgot to add that part, add Zumi into this what if thing. So Zumi and Zuko were born, and Zuko had his entire existence was created from basically Asashi and Inko's quirks. So, yeah. But Zumi was basically, she was born like a normal person. But her quirk, she was born with a quirk, but her quirk got transferred into her brother, so she's quirkless. So, but yeah. So then, Zuko and Zumi were born, and so then at age of 4, normally I say normally the quirk doctor says, Zuko, you're quirkless and you can't become a hero. Zumi can, that stuff. Well, it's the opposite, like reversed. He tells Zumi that she has no quirk and she can't become a hero. And you, Zuko, have a quirk, and you can become a hero. So then, but Zuko didn't truly care if he wanted to become a hero. He always wants to protect his sister no matter what. Even if someone even talks smack about her. Man. Everybody. So Bakugo tells or asks Zumi that what her quirk is, and she says I'm quirkless. And so then Zuko, or so Bakugo was picking on her, but then like calling her like names that I won't say on YouTube because yeah. I'm trying to stay clean for this. I don't need all that extra sponsored stuff or I'm doing this for entertainment for you guys and no, I am not torturing myself with just making these what ifs. So yeah. So let's move on. So when Zuko saw so first of all, Zuko saw what Bakugo was picking on Zumi. He was about to like use his quirk on her, but Zuko comes out of nowhere, grabs Bakugo's arm, and he says, Don't hurt my little sister," as he throws him right out the window into 3 buildings across. As Zuko sprouted wings and flies right to him. As Bakugo, who looks up, and he knows he doesn't see Zuko standing there. He sees a monster just looking at him. As he doesn't see Zuko standing right there. He sees like a nomu version as he walks away. Or he flies back to see what. And as Zumi says, "Thanks, brother. But did you really have to throw him across 3 buildings?" As she's also shocked by how strong he is compared to her. So then, a time skip to 15. As Zuko was basically is more used to his powers, like aka it's his abilities, like skills, because he is made out of quirks, so he has so many. He's doesn't even know that he is a nomu that looks more human than the actual nomus look like. Ochako loves him. So no one knew about it. Yeah. Because Zuko's quirks, or Zuko, I'll explain this better. So Zuko's was made out of his father's and his mother's quirks. Hold on just one second. Sorry about that. Yeah. So, yeah. So Zuko, what his entire existence was, he is made out of quirks. So So the yeah, as he didn't realize it. So, but when he went home, so he wants to make his little sister proud. So he's more, and plus during the same time, or should I say, at age of 3 years old, before Ochako, fell in love with Zuko. But she did not know that Zuko he is a quirk. I'll just put it as that. Because he always blames, or not blames, he's always that type of person that would rather care about everybody. And Ochako loves him deeply. Like, it's kind of like Lemon from Magic and Muscles. But Ochako still loves Zuko, no matter if he was or who he was. So, let's continue this what if. So, yeah. So, time skip to 15, and, of course, Bakugo gets beat up a lot. Yeah. Because he was talking all kinds of smack about Zumi. Yeah. As Bakugo keeps himself away from Zuko's. So they but that's only giving him crud amount and stuff. So yeah. But every time Zuko gets angry at Bakugo, or someone that sometimes when Ochako's around, she walks up and she, like, her or Zumi walks up to him and tries to stop him from yeah. So that's every single time. Because compared to the nomus that are, like, created from, like, corpses of dead people and putting, like, quirks inside of their bodies, well, Zuko's was born from is a quirk. So, not corpse, quirks. Like in powers. He's made out of different powers. So yeah, he joins UA. He wants to protect his sister and everybody from getting killed. So he's in class 1A. His sister was in the quirkless school. And she's basically blaming herself for, she wishes that she went to UA with her brother, but he doesn't have that opportunity. So let's continue. So, I am skipping the boring part of like, or actually, no. I'm going to skip to the USJ. So, because something special happens at the USJ. So the nomus, during the ambush thing, like the villains were about to kill the villains, the villains were about to kill the young students. Zuko, who was just be like, oh boy. As let me deal with them. I know this isn't disobeying, but I mean, I'll create a diversion. Plus, as he looks at Mr. Aizawa, plus, I really want to smack that nomu, whom, that's all I want. Okay? So, he's more of a fierce leader. As Mr. Aizawa could see why that everybody, or everybody sees why Zuko is like the person that's more capable of being the leader. As he flies down, as he takes out all the villains faster than speeding bullets. As a nomu comes in and about to hit Zuko right in the face. As somehow his body reacted like he dodged the attack. As he did what, there's this one picture on that someone drew that the bunny girl kicking the nomu who right in the chest. Yeah. Well, Zuko did the same thing. As he gets himself up. As the Shiraki-sen was gonna disintegrate him, but Zuko somehow teleports back. And words. And he's like, man. Boom. As he charges his own version of One for All. He hits Shiraki-sen, knocking him out. As he's wondering why they're all wondering why Zuko has a similar skills to every pro hero, pro villain. As Zuko uses his own version of Mr. Aizawa's, but without any drawbacks. A restraining eyes thing. So when Zuko did that, he basically tells himself, dang. As a nomu comes in again, and he hits, or tries to hit Zuko as he dodges or his body becomes water. on her as he's like, as he hits he hits the nomu and the Shiraki-sen without any effort thing. So then All Might comes out of nowhere. Zuko did open the portal to Lane. Go as he teleports the Tenya to the school and teleports everybody else to the school. All the students and teachers at the school. And so Zuko is at USJ fighting for his survival. As he's knocking out villains and dodging the Nomu's attacks. And yeah, stuff like that is like, man. As the out of nowhere, a portal opens up, but it was over the Nomu's head. Not Zuko's head. But there was thousands of blades came out and struck the Nomu, who like basically chopped his brain up. Yeah. And the Nomu died that fateful day. As Zuko was like, oh crap. Oh crud. As his realized that so then the Zuko whose body reacted when the Shiraki-sen and all the villains, or remaining villains, comes in, and they were about to land a finishing blow, but then out of nowhere, Zuko used his own version of the, not Dark Shadow, but the twice his clones. And but instead of, you know how twice can copy people's quirks? Or copies people and makes clones of them? Well, Zuko can do that with his own. And he didn't realize it. And so, so there was a bunch of people, or a bunch of clones comes out. And they all hit all the villains, or remaining villains, as Zuko was still stunned, and that he didn't mean to kill something as he sees a soul of that monster leaving the creature's body. But before it left, it walked up to him and thanks him for ending his misery. So, yeah. So then that struck Zuko down to the core, because how much pain he's been through when he saw So then the Pro Heroes comes out of nowhere, and Shiraki-sen and Kirigiri teleported away. As everybody, so All Might looks at Zuko, who, he thought he was dead, but then the Snipe walks up. He's not dead. He's in a deep shock, actually. From what? Look over there. As he points to where Zuko was at. And as Zuko, whose tears coming down, as he can't believe that he just murdered someone that was, as All Might walks up, or all the pro heroes know that, as All Might bends down and tells him that you're gonna be alright. Accidents like this happens when, yeah. As he can't believe, as he was still in a shock, like bad version of shock. As he as he still blames himself for what he didn't mean to kill a nomu or person, but then he realized the person's dead body basically had, or he could sense all for ones behind this. As All Might gets him and cheers him up. As everybody agrees that, and plus they all said, it's not your fault, Zuko, it's him. But I do know who made that abomination. Who? All for one. As he quietly, or no, he actually says it quietly, only All Might could hear. As All Might bulks up, as he can't believe that someone turned a poor person into a nomu. As before, so Inko and Nasashi and Zumi walked up and they said, "Are you doing okay?" Yeah. As I'll be right there. As he says, but first I need to tell Mr. Ozawa something. As Mr. Ozawa was there, and he heard that he needs to tell that, or so Kirigiri, or so Zuko tells Mr. Ozawa there was two nomus. not just one. The second one, you could tell that. Sorry if I'm a little bit I was looking up, so yeah. So Zuko tells Mr. Zawa. And how long has this video been? Let's see. Okay. So Zuko tells Mr. Zawa that and Music Mike was there, but he was trying to get both of their attention. As both Mr. Zawa and Music Mike were standing there, and Zuko says, "Don't blame me for any of that, but I will tell you something. That big mist guy, the one that was with that hands dude, what guy, the Shrakison, is actually a number 2 nomu. It seems like he's a more intelligent one. Yeah? What about him? You might not believe me, but I will say this. Because I can sense people, I can sense a person inside of that creature stuff. And you ever heard of a term that your friend, I believe his name was Cloud Boy, right? Yeah. What about him? Or actually, Zuko says the actual name of the Cloud Boy. And yeah, what about him? Kirigiri and him are one and the same person. Basically, as Zuko explains that the Quark Doctor took your friend and turned him into a nomu, similar to that. As he points to the one that was his brain exploded thing, this. So, wait, sorry. As Mr. Zawa and Music Mike, when they heard that Zuko knew that by the feel, as Mr. Zawa says, you can sense an actual person inside of those, right? Yeah. And the guy, or that Nomu, whom was, yeah. So, thank you. Now, so then they leave. So then a time skip. So I'm skipping over the sports festival and the internship thing. Because, yeah. So then to All Might versus All for One. So All Might was down, injured, but not dead. And All for One says, "It is time for you to die." Any last words? Yeah. How do you feel about Zumi, one of my students' sisters? Oh, that weakling? She's nothing. And I don't need her. But her brother, on the other hand, I do need him. So now it's time. First of all for One is in his prime, so he doesn't have to wear the stupid mask thing. But before he even let off the shot onto onto All Might, he has a cold sweat going down his face. And who was right behind him was none other than Zuko Midoriya, was standing with his eyes angry as he looks at All for One. What did you say about my little sister? As Zuko kicks him right inside, and he just bombarded every attack onto All for One, basically tossing him around like a little rag doll, beating him around. Yeah, this version of Zuko has some anger issues, as Zuko's entire body, like his skin became black with marks on his, as All for One was now bleeding, as he can't believe that, as he looks up at Zuko and he sees the one that was born out of quirks. Your entire existence, you are a nomu. You were born as a nomu. You should be thankful. As I'm gonna steal you from, or wipe you out from existence. As Zuko dodged the attacks, as he says, not today. As he used similar moves to the to Gran Torino's, as mixed with Hawks' wings, and like basically every pro hero and pro villain that are like, he basically turned All for One from a symbol of evil to symbol of punching bag. Basically into a punching bag. Yeah. Because Zuko's speed was fast as lightning. Even light itself couldn't even catch up to Zuko's. Yeah, and All for One, as Zuko's created a cannon, and then from his back, from his chest, and as he says, time for you to die. Boom! As All for One was about to escape from the cannon, but his feet got glued to the yeah, because Zuko used Mentos's quirk to hold him in place. And so, yeah. So, Zuko just straight up, boom, cannon. And All for One and got obliterated. Like, there was nothing left of All for One. The only things that were left was, well, or actually his skeleton. That's it. Nothing else. And Zuko's. So everybody. So the following day, like after that, the next day, the Recover Girl, so they asked Recover Girl and asked him to go see if it was true that he was born as a nomu. So then Zuko says sure. And then so he ends up he says as they did a DNA testing, and there was 50% of his mother, 50% of his father, and then 100% Nomu. So Zuko is like, as he or actually, is that why I feel like as everyone looks at him and says, huh, you're more powerful than anyone. Plus, you've been born with, or how does it make you feel about like having or be born with every quirk, or been born from all the quirks inside your body? As All Might can tell that Zuko can, because quirks to him is completely different and from, like, they don't age as much, but they sure do evolve. But besides that, they don't age. So that means that Zuko is immortal. So he's blaming himself because he thought he was human, or he is still human, right? As Zuko looks over at, am I still technically human, or, and, well, as Recover Girl says, well, no, the Nomus are kinda humans-azoid, but in your situation of what you were born as, you probably don't need any more quirks. So yeah, Zuko actually ends up being, when Class 1A heard that Zuko is a Nomu, as he did tell Mr. Zawa and Nezu that he's not a UA trader. But man, as he did have a weird feeling that's always been bothering him more times through his entire life, of the itchy feeling. But then he realized his sister's quirk was actually inside of his body instead of, that's weird. As Zumi's quirk wasn't actually supposed to be inside Zuko's body, but somehow it got transferred during the birth part thing. So Zuko like one day he shows back up, and not Mr. though, he walks over as Zumi was still like, she wasn't sick, but she was just like, had tears coming down her face, and she's always blamed herself as the unlucky one. But then Zuko comes out of nowhere, and he basically walks over to Zumi, like, as he says, I think I have something that was meant to belong to you, Zumi. What would that be, brother? I know that the court doctor said that you were born, or you were quirkless, but I think he lied. What do you mean? Here, as a quirk that was, or it got transferred from his, where he mostly itches part, leaves, and here we go, as this is your, and I know it is a flame quirk, flame manipulation quirk. I had it, and that's why you always saw me itching my leg. Oh, and what did the doc, or what did it or what did they say about the? You, well, as Inko and Nasashi, or let's say Inko asked that question. Well, it said that I was born as a quirk, like a nomu, but I'm not the high intelligent one. I'm not those nomus that you saw. Sorry, I keep looking away from my phone or from, yeah. Sorry. So he says that about like he is a nomu that because he was born from every quirk, or actually the quirks was made up his entire existence, as he blames himself. I should be the one that blames myself for, as Inko and Asashi, when they heard that Zuko was, or his entire existence was like, he was born or as a quirk, like basically he, like a Nomu. But Zumi and Inko, or actually, Zumi walks up and hugs her own brother, and she says, really don't care if you were a Nomu anyways. So, yeah. So now Zuko so Inko actually tells Zuko that, yeah, we all don't care if you were Nomu. Whom. As, yeah. So then Sashi's like, yeah. The and what was about, like, you had that itchy spot on your leg you always itch at. It was, as he tells them, the quirk, or Zumi's quirk was somehow transferred when he, or when her quirk was transferred into my leg, and where all the itchy began. So I gave her back her quirk. And Zumi can't believe. As, yeah. So then Sashi and Inko are happy that both of them actually, both of their kids had quirks the entire time. So then, yeah. And when I was making this video, that part where All for One says about crummy thing about Zumi, she's worthless and all that stuff, and Zuko pops up behind him, making All for One sweat. I just imagine the JoJo's adventures' moment right there. Yeah. I smell JoJo. Ah. Yeah. So, if you guys, and plus, reason why this is a long video instead of my custom card that I made earlier today was because yeah. So, please hit that thumbs up and like and subscribe. And so when Ochako, so the class 1A and class 1B knew that they had a nomu. That was, so Ochako did not care if Zuko was a nomu or a human. She would have still dated him no matter what. Because in this alternate timeline of Ochako cares about love and caring for others. And every time she's near Zuko, sometimes she actually, like in canon, she kind of sometimes gets embarrassed. But then, yeah. But when I remember the part but in this alternate timeline, she actually, instead of being super embarrassed about it, she takes him, or airtime, she takes him, and she straight up kissed him right on the lips. And she is like Toga version, but instead of stabbing Zuko, it's kissing him instead. So she's basically a lot more nicer than Toga. And I'm still upset about Toga dying in My Hero Academia. What's wrong with them? Sorry, that was my deep feelings for my favorite person. My favorite person of My Hero Academia is Toga, but yeah. So Ochako ends up, so after Zuko sometimes gets embarrassed, but because he's used to Ochako kissing him a lot, and yeah. So the time skip. Zuko, who accepted his quirks, part of him, So the he yeah. So I'm skipping over Overhaul fight because it's kind of getting old, but the so Ochako and Zuko got married and had 2 kids, and both of them are similar to what their father is, a nomu, but with Ochako's gravity powers. And he basically tells her that they are both nomus, just like me. Yeah. Or they both are born from a quirks. So then, yeah. So now, after all that stuff going on, Zuko is happy that, yeah, because he's not blaming himself as that much, but yeah. So now, Zuko is basically a role model, and he's also a pro hero, and he's the first ever person, or he's actually a first ever a Nomu becomes a pro hero. So peace out, Cub Scouts, and have a good night or day. Depends on time zones, and yeah. And sorry for this little bit of a cliffhanger because because of my dogs are barking in the background. So peace.